Yo, 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 yo. Let me have a minute here, ladies. Let me talk to the fellas. Or let me speak for the fellas. And maybe let me talk to the ladies. Now, this ain't a video where I'm picking on y'all. I promise you. I just want to speak for the men for a second. I was having a conversation with somebody about why men suffer in silence, why most men will suffer in silence. And there was a lot of reasons why, we were having these conversations, but the one reason brought me to this video right now. Our children. We suffer in silence for our children, our kids, our sons, our daughters, either or, whatever. We suffer in silence for our children. Ladies, you have no idea how many men in this world right now today, as I'm talking to you right now, you would be blown away at the amount of men who are married or in a relationship with a woman who they have a child with, and they know this woman don't love them. They know this woman doesn't respect them. They know this woman is a hot mess and she is not capable of being the type of woman that he desires her to be. He knows these things. He has been with her long enough to know shit ain't getting no better than what it already is. And yet he's still there. And you know why? Because he chose his children over his own personal happiness. That man is suffering being with you. Now, this message is to the women who, and you know who you are, okay? If I'm not talking to you, if the shoe don't fit, baby, don't put it on. But if the shoe fit, wear it and wear it well. I'm not talking to women who have embraced their feminine side and who are good women to their boyfriends and good women to their husband, good wives to their husband. I'm not talking to you. I love you, boo-boo, I love you, so I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the opposite of you. I'm talking to the woman who is horrible at being a girlfriend, horrible at being a wife. I'm talking about the woman who is so masculine that she might as well have a pair of nuts in her panties. That's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to the woman who emasculates her husband, emasculates her boyfriend, her fiance, who is horrible to people in general, who has an attitude every single day, who's just miserable and making everybody around her miserable. Not just the husband, but the children too. And see, the reason why that man is suffering in silence, because he knows how horrible you are to him. We men, we can take it, baby. We grown men, we know how to adapt and take it. But our children are different. And when we see that you also take it out on our kids sometime, that you're horrible to the kids sometime, then we know we have to stay. A real man who loves his children, he will stay to protect his children. Say what you want to say to me. Yell at me, berate me, belittle me, have an attitude with me all you want to, but you bet not do it to my child. There are a lot of men like that. And I'm not saying it's cool for her to treat you that way, sir. I'm not saying that that's cool. But I'm just saying a grown man knows how to make his bed and lay in it. A grown man knows how many lumps of sugar to put in his coffee and drink it. We know. So we know that our woman is horrible. We know that our wife is a sour puss. We know that she's the wicked witch of all east, west, north, and south. We know these things. But we've decided to stay because we want to be there to help raise our son or our daughter or both. We want to be there to protect our children because we know that if we leave our children with this woman, she will destroy them mentally, and spiritually and perhaps even physically. Most of the time, and I believe this, most of the time, these type of women who are miserable and just hard to be with, and they make everybody walk on eggshells around them, these type of women, I don't believe, deliberately try to be mean to their children. I think that it's just a part of, they're just so miserable and so mean that they can't help but be mean to the children too. Now imagine, and the average man knows this, that if you got this mean wife that you're suffering through and being with, you know that if you leave her, she will take every bit of her anger out on your children. We know this. We're logical thinkers. Ladies, I'm not saying you're not. Again, I'm speaking for men right now. This ain't your moment. This is ours. We are logical thinkers. Most of us, we think logically, and we have enough sense to know that if I leave this woman and she becomes bitter and angry, even more so than she already is, she is going to treat my child like garbage. She is going to take her anger and frustration out on my child. And I cannot have that. And depending on how messy and sloppy this woman is, you know, because there's some women who are mean and miserable and grouchy, but then there are some who are just messy and they cheat and do all kind of wild stuff too while they with you. Heaven forbid she's that type too. Then you can't leave that woman with your child and she's got all kind of men coming over to the house around your daughter, around your son. We can't have that. See, a man, when you leave your home, you leave the door open for another fool to walk through it. And that idiot and that fool and that thug or that pimp or whatever he may be is around your child. Not because you want him to be, it's because you're no longer there in the house to prevent it from happening. You're out the house. That's the sacrifice you make when you leave the house. When you walk out the house, you leave the door open for somebody to walk in. And whoever walks in is around your children. And for a real man, that's something to think about. Real men suffer in silence because they put their children first. They put their children first. Understand, he's not a fool. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows he's sacrificing his happiness right now for his children. But here's what a lot of ladies, this is what y'all don't think about. So I'm talking to you right now. You hear my message right now. You hear me speaking for men. Here's what a lot of y'all don't think about, because I've seen this happen ever since I've been a little boy growing up, and I've seen like families get divorced. And it's like, wow, I never knew they had any problems. That's because that man was suffering in silence. But ladies, what you don't know is that when a man suffers in silence, that's a clock with a countdown to it. That's not a forever thing for him. Because guess what? Our children get older. Our children eventually become old enough to not have to stay with you anymore. Our children become old enough to make their own decisions, and they can go stay with their father if they want to. Depending on how long this thing takes, they become old enough that they don't need to live with you anymore. Now they're in college, or they're off to the Army, the military, the Navy, whatever it may be. Okay? So we don't have to continue to suffer in silence forever. There's an expiration date on suffering in silence. Because the second our children get old enough to not have to stay with you no more, we out. And I've seen it happen. I've seen men suffer in silence until they don't have to suffer no more. The second them kids get old enough for him to leave, he leaves. So ladies, you may sit there and think that you can treat a man any kind of way because you have children with him, and you may even be smart enough to realize that he's not leaving you and he hasn't left you because he's staying for the kids. He's staying for the kids. Once them kids become old enough to not need to live in that house no more, baby, your expiration date is here. It's here. And you will have to replace them kids with some pet cats. Let me say it one more again. You're going to have to replace them kids with some cats. You're going to be living on your own with some cats.